Hi everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Today I'm going to be doing a super fun video and one that I don't think I've done in a few years. I have not been recording the stats of my books. I haven't been recording on any apps when I start and finish a book and my thoughts in between. It has just been a struggle to be still reading while being a parent. But at the end of this year I felt like getting back to it, and I have still been filming YouTube videos even though I haven't been recording them on apps. I was able to just go back and say which month I finished the book in. The accuracy of this is how long it takes me to read a book is not going to be anywhere there, but the number of books and what genres and all that other fun stuff is going to be there as well. And I have started tracking at the very end of this year and I've really been enjoying it. I finished 11 books across 5,524 pages. My first book was Burned Alive by Soad, and my last book was Christmas at Hogwarts. My mood maps. Lighter books push the line up and darker books pull the line down. So it seems like I was reading really dark stuff and then light. Now what are they? It's not clickable. I chased horizons and daring escapades, felt every heartbeat on the page and chased clues down winding paths. A steady rhythm of stories kept the year moving along nicely. The genres you spent the most time with in 2025. So fantasy the most at 7. That's cool. Romance at 4, which is really nice to see because I am trying to read more romance stuff or stuff with romance because I enjoy it. Historical 2, memoir 1 and children's 1. So these I believe I can click into them. No. My longest book was The Armour of Light by Ken Follett. It's 750 pages, not surprising. And my shortest is Christmas at Hogwarts at 48 pages, not surprising. The average length of the books you read was 428 pages, and it took around 28 days to finish each book, but that is incorrect. Least time spent, most time spent, again, is incorrect. The authors you spent the most time with is J.K. Rowling. Oh, and that one would be... Everything used to be clickable, but now it's not. I finished up A Goblet of Fire, and I also read Christmas at Hogwarts, and then Sarah J Maas, I read Akamath and Akawar this year. Other StoryGraph users in your 2025 reads. I find these really interesting too. The most shelved book was A Court of Mist and Fury at 724,312 users, and the least shelved was Sonic the Hedgehog Volume 9 at Cheo Races and Badnik Bases with 129 users. Highest rated, A Court of Mist and Fury, also not surprising, at 4.55 stars. You did read some things that were different to your normal picks, because it's a light-hearted, relaxing and fast-paced, so I mustn't read a lot of that. Along the way, you discovered 2 new authors, Soad and Bernard Cornwell, which is cool. I'm probably not going to read anything more by Soad, even if she's published stuff. That's the author of Burned Alive, which is a memoir. But I will be continuing on with Bernard Cornwell as I continue with the Last Kingdom series. 9 of the books you read were part of a series. Now that is clickable. Sailor Moon, Onyx Storm, Sonic, Akamath and Akawar, Harry Potter, The Last Kingdom, Sookie Stackhouse and Kingsbridge. Yep. You decided to go back down memory lane once with one reread this year, which is Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire. You decided not to finish 9 of the books you picked up this year, so I'm really glad that they put this in here. And I love that about the StoryGraph that it actually includes DNFs. Now to give you guys a quick rundown of my did not finish books. So we've got The First World War and Illustrated History, Murtagh, Born Survivors, Truth Witch, The Changeling's Journey, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, Temptation, Gardens of the Moon and Uprooted. I think this is probably my biggest year of DNFs, to be honest, and it's just so interesting to be doing that. And it says you didn't own any of the books you read this year. I don't tag whether I've owned them or not, but I pretty much exclusively read the books that I own. I don't rarely ever go to the library. 2025 at a glance to see all the different books. Alright, that was a lot of fun to see how that went. It's lower than I think any year has ever been. Maybe the previous year, I don't know. I haven't checked that to see. I definitely have learnt this year that I need to stick to a book, and sometimes I can temporarily DNF it, but then I need to, or like put it on pause, and I need to actually put it down and shelve it back again and then pick up something else. It doesn't work for me to try and read multiple different books at once. It really does not. That's where it kind of got me into a bit of a tricky situation where I wasn't finishing anything at all because I just had 6 books on the go and was going off a whim. I so just want to follow any tangents I'm on, but it's very important that I finish the current book and then go on from there. I would like to do some different stats myself. Did I continue any series? Did I finish any series?
I read 2 standalones, I started 1 new series, and I continued 8 of series that I'd already started. I read 1 non-fiction book, and that was a memoir. I read 10 fiction, and of those books, 1 was a children's superhero comic book, 1 was a children's fantasy picture book, 1 was a mahou shoujo manga, and the other 7 were novels. 1 being a children's fantasy, which I've then linked with a dotted line to the other children's fantasy. They're the same genres, but just different mediums. The 6 other books were all adult, and of those there were 3 romanticies, 1 urban fantasy, and 2 historical.
Thanks everybody so much for checking out my channel. How many books did you read this year? And do I want to talk about my favourite? I gotta say, it's either Onyx Storm or Aka War. I think for the romance, Aka War is my favourite. I love that feeling of home that Sarah J Maas can encompass. I love watching established couples together. But in terms of actual fantasy elements, I really enjoyed Onyx Storm's fantasy elements more than anything else. The other one that I tend to do is Biggest Disappointment. That's The Armour of Light by Ken Follett. Even though I still enjoyed it, I just felt like there was stuff missing. I have a much more detailed and spoiler-full video on this, which I will link down below. My spoiler-free thoughts. It feels like there was a lot of description and emotion missing from this book, and it really disappointed me. Even though it was the longest book that I read, I would have rathered it either to be bigger and added 300 pages so that we can get more emotion. I don't even know if it would have needed that, like maybe 200 pages, 150. Just a couple of paragraphs consistently throughout the book to really actually make things feel emotional and to really get the description across, because it felt like we were told a lot of stuff and not shown. The setting wasn't as rich as it usually is, and I didn't really feel for the characters in the way that I usually do. Or if the publishers felt that that was too big, couldn't we have made it a duology? Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. Again, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you don't know what to comment, then please comment a celebration emoji for the end of the year. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bye!